Slightly. I have. I can hear it. It's starting.
Yeah.
They're off them for. I do. But I was gonna go. I think I did speak the boss. I had to try to make it from. Nobody knows.
They have themselves over.
No, I just.
They changed it. Yeah.
I don't want to. I don't. Oh, I'm.
I call this meeting to order at 5:07 PM. Senator C. Williams, could you lead us in the fight song, please?
Fight, tigers, fight. Let the see you.
We are now going to move into a roll call.
President Ali. Vice President Brenton. Treasurer Allen. Chief of Staff Hurley. Deputy Chief of Staff Bullock. Director Edwards. Director Bryant. Director Lane. Director Matthews. Assistant Director Reese. Director Fleury. Assistant Director Animation. Director Reyes.
Present.
Assistant Director Paredes.
President.
Director Kasaka. Assistant Director Johnson. Director Dalton. Director Trogdon. Assistant Director Thomas. Director Icard. Assistant Director Fitzgerald. Director Morgan. Director Brown. Assistant Director Scott. Director Ifeji. Representative Hannah. Representative Ebenes. Representative Davis. Representative Andrew.
President.
Representative Guilford. Representative Osazua.
Right.
Graphic designer Lazingworth. Photographer Lahai. Videographer Kineja. President Pro Tempore Kelly. Government Operations Chair Farrell. Appropriations Chair Miller.
Present.
Senator Atalokun. Senator Cohn. Senator Scromo. Senator J. Williams.
Present.
Senator C. Williams. Senator K. Williams. Senator Hastings.
Present.
Senator Billy Echo. Senator Rhines.
Present.
Parliamentarian Ekbo, Chief Justice Olojo, Deputy Chief Justice Blandon, Associate Justice Ubong, Associate Justice Nikita.
We are now going to move into approval of the minutes. Minutes are approved. Are there any amendments to the agenda? Senator Rhines?
Motion to amend the agenda to include resolution number 26.
Are there any seconds? And with a vote of 10-0, the motion to amend the agenda to include resolution number 26 has passed. Are there any other amendments to the agenda? Government Operations Chair Farrell.
I motion to suspend Senate rules to review resolution. Huh? That's what I said. Motion to add resolution 30 to the agenda.
Are there any seconds?
I second.
And with a vote of 10-0, the motion to amend the agenda to include resolution number 30 has passed. Are there any other amendments to the agenda? Appropriations Chair Miller.
Motion to amend the agenda to include guest speaker and numbered rules.
Are there any seconds? Thank you, Senator Kay Williams. And with a vote of 10-0, the motion to amend the agenda to include guest speaker Edna Primrose has passed. Are there any more amendments to the agenda? Hear none, see none. We are now going to move into our guest speaker. I'd like everyone to please welcome Edna Primrose to the front. Along with Brian DeFilippis as well, please. Let's get a round of applause.
Hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. How are you? Happy Tuesday. So Brian DeFilippis and I are here to talk about the Towson University Foundation. We are just delighted to have President Ali as an ex officio member on our board. It's really exciting to have an SGA representative always represented on the foundation because she's the link to our student population. So we thought we would give you an overview and kind of explain who we are, how we work, and also how you can be involved. So I serve as president of the foundation board. I'm a TU alum from a million years ago, but still a Tiger. So that's awesome. Thank you, thank you. And Brian, do you want to introduce yourself real quick?
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Brian DeFilippis. I am Vice President for University Advancement here at TU, or finishing up my 9th year here. I am not an alum, but my wife is, class of 2000. And I also am the Executive Vice President of the TU Foundation. So I straddle a line between both the foundation and the university, and the two divisions and the foundation work very closely together. Happy to be here.
All right. Well, thank you. All right, you can go ahead with the slide. Thank you. All right, so just starting with the history of the foundation. Believe it or not, we were established in 1970, so we've been around a long time. And we are a 501c3 corporation, which is a nonprofit organization. So we're separate from Towson University, although Towson University is our partner and is the foundation upon which we are based because of the existence of the university. We're separately incorporated and also governed. But again, we are close partners with Towson, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that. So we are set up to enable a donor to make tax-deductible contributions to the university. It can be in the form of scholarships, fellowships, maybe paying for a professor for a particular program. For research, we have quite a few folks who donate funds to further research. Could be outreach projects. It could be paying for somebody to study abroad. And also academic and co-curricular programs. It could be for athletics. There's a number of purposes that people can use. And the foundation is the steward of the gifts to Towson. Next slide. All right, so our mission is to provide financial resources to TU. We basically build relationships that foster engagement. So we really want to bring people into the Towson community and find out about all of our Rockstar students and help us make sure that you are getting a world-class experience while you're here. We promote philanthropy. For me, as a Towson alum, I struggle quite a bit here financially. So I created a scholarship for a College of Business and Economics student who is in financial need to help and support that student's success. And so we really foster giving back to the community, giving back to Towson, and also inspiring others to do the same. And then stewardship is because we're responsible for keeping those funds and making sure that they are used in the proper manner and also last. We are aligned with the university strategic goals, even though we have our own plan. So we do aspire, always aspire for excellence, just like you all. And by the way, you all run such a tight meeting. I'm just like, yes, if we could get our board to vote electronically, I was just saying that to Brian, man, that would be awesome. But you all just, it's like clockwork. And we're just, again, delighted. So we aspire to be a role model for institutionally related foundations. That means the foundations that go with all universities that are in the University System of Maryland. And we want to make sure, again, we have that stable revenue. Next. So to accomplish our mission, there's a whole list here, as well as the goals of our strategic plan, like I mentioned. We promote and support TU, so sometimes you'll see me at different events. We really encourage our board members to be active and present. We're all volunteers, which I have on a slide later as well, so we can decide how to spend our time, just like you. So we appreciate you giving your time to represent the students in your area. We also, again, cultivate relationships by engaging current and potential donors. So we're always talking about Towson, and really the passion's there, so I find it very easy to do. We steward donations, as I mentioned, and we're gonna talk about the investment, how we do keep that money going. We also are responsible for maintaining a sustainable business model, because we are an organization, it's a business, so we want to make sure that we're following all of the rules and regulations, not only for Towson, but also the state of Maryland and the University System of Maryland. We also have a very diverse board of directors. So we're looking across the spectrum, TU alum, I think TU alum about 60%, give or take. But really, we just want people who are champions of TU and who want to get to work. So we're very diverse. We brought on some more recent graduates lately just to hear some additional perspectives, and that makes us even better. Next slide. So I like to say that we bring philanthropy to life. That's our job. And again, it's a privilege and an honor to do that. The board is made up of volunteers, as I just mentioned, so we don't get paid to serve on the board. We do it because we love Towson and we want to be a part of the change and we want to give back. So we have a good combination of alumni, some are community leaders. Councilwoman Felicia Porter from Baltimore City, for example, is one of our members. We have business owners and business leaders who hire Towson students, and also our shared governance leaders like President Ali. We have President Ginsburg, our Provost Melanie Perot, our Chief Fiscal Officer, and others who act as ex officio. We do look for a variety of skills, so we try to be well-rounded in terms of what people do for a living, because we have such a broad range of programs here at TU. So we want to have that represented, whether it's, whether it's in health, whether it's education. It's not all folks from business, people from COFAC, from the arts, people from the College of Liberal Arts, people, again, who didn't go to Towson, people who were commuters when we went to Towson, or people who transferred from a community college. We have all those different experiences that make it really great for us. So there I have, what's your why? That's one of the things we always kind of start with at the beginning of the new academic year or the new year itself. And again, maybe that helps you to kind of think about why you're a representative and what is it that made you want to have this position and put your time in, right? To make your student population even better and also bring more resources to them. So for us, it's just a whole host of areas that we're excited about, particularly collaboration, and then again, having that support. Next. So we are a fiduciary. So this is what I'm talking about with the funds, and Brian's going to give you the numbers in terms of how much we have in our portfolio. So you've heard of like 401ks or individual retirement accounts and such. We actually do invest quite a bit to make sure that the money continues to grow. Why? Because like, for example, I talked about my scholarship, the Primrose Better Scholarship in CBE. It is an endowment, which means that it lasts in perpetuity. Who knows what perpetuity means? It means like forever, as long as there's a Towson University. So the way to grow that money is to invest in it so that the entire portfolio stays funded. And then we can allocate scholarships and other programs as long as the money is there. So we act on behalf of an organization. We don't engage in our own personal interests. It's really for the greater good, kind of like what you do here as the SGA. We demonstrate loyalty, impartiality, and prudence, so we're always very conscientious. And again, we use the skills and talents of our board members to apply that care, skill, and diligence. Next. Now, what we don't do, we don't manage tuition. We never see student fees, so we're not involved in how much your tuition is. We don't peel off any part of your fees. We do not use state or federal funding. All of that goes to the university for your education and for operations and programs. The money that we get is from donors, specifically people who donate to the university, and we are stewards of their funds. So some people will have what's called an unrestricted donation, which means I'm giving you $10,000, just whatever will make Towson run great, and students will love it. You don't even have to tell me what it is, but I trust you and you can do whatever you want. Or my scholarship, like I mentioned, is specific, it's restricted to the College of Business and Economics, restricted to a student from Prince George's County, and restricted to a student from Prince George's County who is in financial need. So sometimes donors are super specific, and sometimes they're like, I trust you, go for it. So again, those are the kind of funds that we manage. So again, we do not manage student fees. We're not involved in that, not involved in tuition or state or federal funding. I am going to turn it over to Brian to talk a little bit about our investment.
Thank you. So I know this is of interest to this body, and we have engaged with student government over the years around certain places that we invest money, certain areas that we are interested in, certain areas you're interested in. The foundation is guided by what is called an investment policy statement that is developed by our investment committee, which is a subgroup of our overall foundation board, and is ratified by the full board. And that provides guardrails around which the foundation and the investment committee can actually look at and think about where we invest our dollars. There are some really important key factors that we think about whenever we are making decisions. First and foremost, these are a little bit in order of priority for us, return objectives. So Edna talked about endowment. I'm going to show you a slide in a minute about how much we have under management. Much of that is endowment. That means we don't spend the donor's gift, we invest it, and we use some of the investment earnings to be able to provide scholarships or other support to the university. So one of our key focuses is how can we maximize our returns on our investment? Risk tolerance, we tend to be pretty passive in terms of investment. We don't want to take big risks. So when you see big fluctuations in the market, we are for the long term. So we are not interested in taking big risks or putting our donors' money in jeopardy. We want to make sure that we are doing that by asset allocation across a variety of different sectors of investment. I'll show that in a second. We want to keep our costs down. We are very proud that we are a low-cost organization. Within the University System of Maryland, the TU Foundation is the lowest cost to a donor to manage their money. We use external benchmarks, and then we do talk about prohibited investments. So this group back during the COVID period had asked us to think about fossil fuels. We reflected on that. We actually looked at our portfolio. We made some changes to that, which I'll talk about in a second. Next slide. So this is how our endowment is allocated. So that's really small. I apologize. It looked much nicer on my computer screen. There you go. As I mentioned earlier, we are what is called a passive investor. So our committee meets once a month. They look at and evaluate our investment performance. We have certain benchmarks that we are trying to hit in terms of making sure that we are earning money to be able to pour back into the university. But they are generally not making many transactions throughout the year. They are also not investing in individual stocks. So we tend to look at mutual funds and index funds. They have exposure to many different companies throughout those index funds. And as you'll see here, we put all, as I mentioned in the last slide, we try to make sure that we are spreading our assets over a number of different investment vehicles. So fixed income, equities, alternatives, all of those drive different parts of what we are trying to achieve in terms of being risk averse, being focusing on asset management and focusing on returns. Down the bottom, these were some of the changes that we made back in 2020, 2021. So we do not make any direct fossil fuel investments. And I want to thank this group once again. Folks who are on SGA asked us to reflect on that and evaluate that, and we made some changes at that time. We also have 7% purely invested in ESG, and we encourage donors now, if they would like to make their gift and have it invested entirely in ESG friendly endowment options. So some nice changes that we've been able to experience, and I give a lot of credit to this body for helping us think through that a little bit a couple of years ago. Next slide. So total assets under management. So currently the foundation has about $135 million, I'm rounding up, under management. About 110 million of that is endowment, which means we don't spend that money. We just invest it and use the earnings to support the institution. About 25 million of that just is money that is operations, money in the door, supporting programs and opportunities, money back out the door. And we've seen that grow quite nicely. When I came here back in 2017, we had about $75 million under management. So during that time, not because of me. Great foundation, stewardship of money, more donors have been giving us money. We're now at nearly $130 million. Next slide. Probably also important to you, scholarships awarded. So each year we are focusing on giving away more and more support directly to our students. So you can see just in the last 6 years, we have increased our support of students in direct form of scholarship by nearly $1 million. This year, if we are able to spend all of our money, it will surpass $3.5 million. That is dollars that come directly from our endowment, dollars that come directly from donors to support individual scholarships like the one that Edna has funded, and many others who do that. We give out about 2,300 individual awards per year. We continue to grow that. Scholarship will continue to be a fundraising priority for us. That may actually be, one more slide. So there is a project that we are involved with at the foundation. It started before 2004, but this slide begins in 2004. It's the TU Investment Group. So in our College of Business and Economics, we actually have a faculty member that advises a group of students that initially were doing sort of a role-playing game where they were looking at investments. Back in 2004, the foundation gave that group some actual money from our endowment assets, and they have invested it over time. And what you can see, and we just got this slide in the last week or so, is that they started with about $100,000 in assets and have grown that portfolio to more than $400,000 since the inception of the program. We are really proud of that program. It has involved a lot of our students and alumni now. We've actually added one of our alums that was an early member of the TU Investment Group onto our board, as well as a 2019 graduate who was involved with this. So it's also become a nice pipeline for us to attract some really talented younger alums to join our board and to help us think about and challenge us about how we think about our investments. So that is my last slide. So I want to thank you. We will take questions.
Thank you. So one of the things that I was asked while you ponder your questions, one of the things we were asked to talk about is how you can be involved and support. Really just by being the stellar students you are is a great start, because anytime people walk the yard, anytime we're on campus, they're able to see just how amazing you are. I mean, I talk about it all the time. Towson has just such a great vibe. Our students are kind, our students are smart. You guys are killing it every day, and I know how hard it is. You're working hard, you're getting things done. Our graduation rate is exceptional, our retention rate is great, and the experience really matters. So as representatives in your dorms and the like, you know, you can go back and talk a little bit about this, about the importance of giving back, like what that looks like here at Towson, that there are people who are working for you every day to make sure that you have the support and resources you need. We also have in the colleges, for example, ambassadors. So you can be an ambassador when people come from the community to different events. You can talk about your experience at Towson, because really it's like sometimes it's hard to picture until they talk to somebody. And so you can be that storyteller to amplify your positive experience at Towson. And if there's a need that you see as an SGA, as an organization, that's something that you can bring to President Ginsburg, to Brian, you know, to our leadership, as has been done in the past, to help us be better. So we want you to make sure that you're keeping us on our toes in terms of providing the best resources. And also, like I said, telling your story, you know, talk to your family. If you know other folks who went to Towson, fellow students, because what we really want to do is to kind of lay the foundation for you being alumni, because all of you are going to be alums at some point, some sooner than others, as soon as this December. So we want to make sure that you're always thinking about Towson. And it's not about big dollars. You know, I like I said, I struggled. I'm not a rich person. You know, I paid $1,000 a year when I could afford it to create this scholarship to honor my mom, and then was able to provide the funds to endow it later. So for us, even for big campaigns, $5, $10, $1, $20, it all matters. It all matters. We appreciate our $5 donors as much as our $1 million donors, because you are all part of the TU community. So if there's anything you want to add about how students can support, please do.
So Edna hit the nail right on the head. I think being champions and storytellers, our alums and our donors, they care about you. They don't care about me, to be perfectly honest. They see me coming a mile away. But they want to hear about your experiences. They want to hear about your pain points. They want to understand how they can enhance the student experience. I think at the end of the day, our donors want to know, our alumni want to know how they can make your experience better, either different from their own or just better if they had a great experience. I'll just echo what Edna said. You know, we have a tendency in advancement and fundraising, not just here at Towson, but everywhere, to talk about $1 million gifts. They're great. We love them. But in the RISE campaign, if you've ever seen the wall down the hall, we talked about raising $102 million over an 8-year period. Gifts under $100 comprised $4 million of that 102. We would not have made our goal if donors who made modest contributions didn't do so. Gifts under $50 were over $2 million. So again, we wouldn't have had success if we didn't have thousands of donors stepping up each and every day. And I'll say, one of the things that was most inspiring in the campaign, one of the best and most well-received projects that we had, was the Student Emergency and Food Insecurity Fund. We were talking about that this morning, and we went back and looked up some data. Since 2019, we've had $544,000 donated to that fund, and we've awarded $488,000 of that to help students each and every day, either through direct food subsidies or emergency grants, or to support the hub. So there are a lot of people out there that want to do some good things, and that happens whether you're giving $5 or $500 or $5,000. So every gift matters.
Any questions?
Senators Jay Williams,
How you doing?
Good.
So my main question is, of course, the visibility side. With the TU Foundation, how are you guys, at the foundation correlating visibility to the students?
So we, again, are pretty present around campus. So I'll just use myself as an example. So I'm on the College of Business and Economics Advisory Boards. I graduated out of CBE. And I participate in the Mentoring to Advanced Professional Development program. So I'm a mentor to students. Sometimes I go and I'm getting ready to do a class as a guest speaker in a couple of weeks. I'm around students all the time. So we encourage our board members to do the same. So whether it's, again, some of them are on the advisory boards for the colleges they're on. Some of them hire students as interns. Some of them hire students as employees. They may be a guest speaker. They may sponsor a field trip or have somebody come to the campus to take a look at it. They may be a host for a field trip in your major, for example. So we just tell them, just find the place where you're comfortable and dive in. We are very student focused, and you will always hear President Ginsburg say, the priority is to put students first, and we are the same. So it's not, we have about 27 members, and some people live near, some people live far, people have different interests. Like, I like to be everywhere if I can. And so we don't limit or define it. What we do is we give them a menu of options and just say, go for it. And then we talk to each board member every year, just from an accountability standpoint, like, hey, thank you, we've seen you, you've been really present, we've heard you talking about Towson at a football game or a basketball game, women's basketball, whatever. Or, we haven't really seen you that much. Are you satisfied with being on the board? Is there a way that we can support you more? Is this still something that you want to do? So we do that accountability check annually with each board member to not only make sure that we're serving them well, but also that they're doing what brings them joy. So again, it's a volunteer position. So we want to make sure that they're getting everything out of it that they can. That's a great question. That's a great question. Thank you.
Yeah, I add something.
Yes.
So in addition to Edna being amazing, and she really truly is amazing, she is probably on this campus even more than I am, and I work here. We also have in university advancement a program called the TU Student Foundation. So that was previously called the Presidential Ambassadors Program. It kind of slowed down during COVID, and we are now picking that back up. So if you're familiar with Pumpkin Smash, which just recently happened, the student organization funds, supports, and raises money through that effort. Doc Hugathon is another one. We're looking at another program in the spring. The other thing I've started talking to that group about is how they can be a better champion and advocate and supporter of fundraising for student organizations. So that's another place that we are trying to think about how we can better integrate with and support students, is being knowledgeable providers of support for you guys, whether that's through an online giving site or helping you to create and think about a campaign for a particular project. We're talking to the foundation students about doing that work as well.
Any other questions? Senator Hastings?
Hi, thank you for speaking this evening. It's to my understanding that the Towson Foundation has been called upon by students and student groups, as well as this body, to assess the corporations that they have invested in. And I would just like to know how you have heard those concerns and how you've taken action. Like you mentioned about fossil fuels. I know recently the salient issue is corporations and their investments in international conflicts. So if you could just share how you address those student concerns, I'd appreciate that.
Oh, sure. Absolutely. So again, we're very committed to transparency and shared governance. So we take all of those issues that come to us very seriously. So with the fossil fuel piece, it was a resolution that was passed, and we ended up forming a work group with students from SGA, with members of our investment committee, to take a look at our portfolio and then make recommendations for creating that environmental friendly option, not only for donors, but also peeling that or adding, or should I say, adding that to our repertoire of investments. We did take a deep dive too and looked at fossil fuels to make sure that we could make adjustments, and we did that. So with respect to the conflicts, I think that we came here last October to talk to students around that after the SGA resolution passed. We did take a look at our portfolio at that time and determined that there were no changes that we needed to make at that time. But things are fluid, so if something comes up, bring it to us and we'll sit and talk to you about it. We also took the opportunity to kind of educate the Student Government Association body about how we work, because I think at that time, people thought we were using student funds or student tuition or student fees in the foundation, and we don't. So part of it is really education, and then the other part is listening. So we are very conscientious about that, and it's interesting. I just went to a conference a couple weeks ago that was sponsored by the Intentional Endowment Network, which talked about impact investing and how you align your values with where you put your funds. And so that's something that we're thinking about all the time. So thank you. That's a good question. Appreciate it.
Are there any other questions? All right, if there are no other questions, one, two, and twice. All right, everybody, please give them a round of applause.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming. We appreciate you guys. Okay, next up, we have public participation / student concerns. Hear none, see none. We're going to move into communications, starting with advisors' remarks.
Happy Tiger Tuesday. I have 4 announcements for you all. Bear with me. 4.5. I don't know. The first one is about homecoming. So the Office of Student Activities plans and manages homecoming festivities on our campus. And we are moving back to a model where students are on the board making the plans. So we invite you to apply if you're interested to be part of the impact and change and celebration that happens on campus during homecoming week. It is a full year commitment. So your leadership experience would start in the spring semester and go through the end of the fall semester. This means that if you're a senior graduating in the spring, you shouldn't apply. Sorry. So if you're interested, the applications are open now. I think Involved at TU is down at the moment, but when it's back up and running, you can access that through Involved at TU. The second thing is that the Baltimore College Town Network, which is a network of Baltimore area higher education institutions that Towson is a part of, the 8th annual Student Governance Summit is coming up in early spring semester. But Towson University has participated every year that I have been here. I'm also on the planning board for that experience. Are there any students in here who attended last year? A few? Talk to your peers. I'm sharing this with you because the registration is open, and I'll be sending you an email either later this evening or tomorrow morning with the details and information. Student Government Association at Towson University should be present. This is a unique opportunity for you all to be in front of and engaging with Student Government Association leaders from 13 institutions in the Baltimore area. So be in one space with people who do the type of work that you do at your institution, who are doing it at theirs. It's a really great way to learn and grow from people like you, but just in a different space. More details will come in that email. The third thing is there are new event supply bins that Janaya has purchased to help us stay organized in the office. So when you're hosting an event on campus and you have supplies that are remaining that need to be stored, make sure you're utilizing those bins. Put all of your remaining event supplies and materials into that bin and storing them in the closet. You should be cleaning up, fully cleaning up from all of your programs within 24 hours of your event. That means your things should not be around the office, not on tables, not on the floor, not under tables or counters, but in the supply bins and in the supply closet. I need everyone to acknowledge that one for me. Does everyone understand? Does everyone understand?
Yes.
Yes, thank you. My last announcement is about clocking in and out. So I'm gonna leave it to the students to share more detail, but part of your responsibility for everyone, not just paid members, is to sign in and out and to clock in and out. That helps keep record for us as administrators who are responsible for approving your time. It helps us track what's going on, so please make sure you're doing it. And then along with that, the last day for working this semester is December 8th. That's the last day of classes. So that's the second week we come back from Thanksgiving. December 8th is your last day to work for SGA. I see a question. I'm sorry, I can't acknowledge my bad.
Director Fleury.
Hi, I have two questions.
Yes.
For the event bins, after an event is done and those supplies have been used, can we, like, if we have another event or another department has an event, can we use those supplies from that previous event?
Yes, please do that. We don't want to be wasteful, so recycle, reduce, reuse. Yes.
Okay, and then my other question was for next week, since we do leave on Wednesday, I believe,
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Yep, no, the campus is not open on Wednesday. Don't come here on Wednesday, y'all. Nobody will be here.
Do we still have to get our full hours?
Ooh, that's a question for your administration. How about we send you an email about it? Is that okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, was there another hand? Oh, there's something.
Appropriations Chair Miller.
In the email about the College Town Summit, will
Yes.
there be a list of the colleges that are attending?
So there won't be a list in the invite because everyone's invited. What I can say is in the last, I think 3 years, we have had every institution that's in the network attend. We also, in the last year, had, I can't remember if it was 1 or 2. So there's technically 1 or 2 institutions who are outside of the network, but that are still in the Baltimore area that attended. And I think it was CCBC. It was a community college. I know for sure. And then there was a second one, I think, but I don't remember who it was. That's being part of Baltimore College Town Network. There's like I don't know if you have to like buy into it, but you have to be a member of Baltimore College Town Network. So there are 13 institutions in that network, but there might be more than 13 institutions in the Baltimore area. But everyone's invited.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I yield if there's no other questions.
Appropriations Committee.
Hello, everyone. Happy Tiger Tuesday. Appropriations Committee held our tabling event this Monday. We were able to connect with a lot of students, some from organizations, some individuals that are pursuing different initiatives on campus about alternative funding. So it was a big overall success, which I'm very happy about. I wanted to thank everyone that came out to the tabling to help out, Senator Rines and Vice President Princeton. They were there for a large period of the time. And that was all. Appropriations Committee did not meet this week. There were no new grants to review. We will be meeting not next week, but the week after. Any questions? With that, I yield.
Government Operations Committee.
Happy Tiger Tuesday, everyone. Okay, so the Government Operations Committee met Thursday at 3:30. We went over Resolution 28, which was favorable with amendments, and Resolution 29, which was deemed favorable with amendments as well. Are there any questions? That are you.
Rules Committee.
All right, good evening, everybody. So in addition to reviewing the Senate bills, Rules Committee will be meeting this Friday at 4 p.m. We will be meeting with Attorney General Sanya and members of the judicial branch to go over the PDR and appeal process. And with that, I yield.
President Ali.
Happy Tiger Tuesday, everybody. Just a few short announcements. I want to speak on Advisor Carolyn's remark on College Town Summit. If you are choosing to attend the College Town Summit, again, I'm waiting for the email just like everybody else. I don't have the exact details, but we will honor that as office hours because you are doing SGA work at that summit. I will say that last Saturday was our awareness walk, and I understand that it was supposed to be our I'll stop beating around the bush. It was supposed to be our breast cancer awareness walk, and it got pushed back, as we had said in previous GAs, and became an awareness walk. And it was still a mandatory event. 15 people out of SGA showed up. We have a body of 75 members. So when we get up here and we say things are mandatory events, are there events that in past comings, SGA has shown up as a full organization is very important. College Town is a very important event. It's an honor and it's a privilege to be a part of things of this nature. So I implore all of you guys that once Advisor Carolyn sends out the information and if it works with your schedules that you sign up. You signed up to be a part of SGA to change Towson University's campus life, to change and advocate for students, and going to summits like these and conventions like that and awareness walks like last Saturday are the small things that we can do to change the way that Towson's campus operates and functions. That was my first announcement. My second announcement falls along the lines of accountability and, like Advisor Carolyn said, timesheets and time cards. It's been brought to eWard's attention that they aren't being filled out. Time cards aren't being punched in. The sign-in sheets aren't being signed in. Weekly reports aren't matching the time that you are putting on your timesheet. This is a problem because it's dishonest, and it doesn't fall along the lines of the job that you guys are doing as SGA members. So that's one thing. But the second thing is that Towson University is being audited. So even if it was something that we wanted to push to the side or we wanted to let slide like it may have done in past years, we no longer have that privilege. So with that being said, me, Attorney General Sonia, and Advisor Carolyn will be hosting small sessions, 3 to 4 people on December 5th. That's a Friday, and 2 weeks is the week after we get back from break, where we will be going over accountability, just certain small things about job positionings and what you're required to do within SGA, but also we'll be having you fill out that office hour sheet that we gave out at the beginning of the year. A part of the 105th is taking accountability. We gave you an office hour sheet, and then we as an administration did not follow up on it. So when we find things of this nature happening, we have to reevaluate the way that we organize so we can move more efficiently. So that's just what this meeting is doing. It is mandatory. If you do not, I sent out an email while I was talking. If you do not sign up for said meeting, you will be marked down, and you will be issued a PDR at the discretion of the Attorney General. That is up to her to decide. However, it is a meeting, so clear guidelines can be set with me, myself, Advisor Carolyn, and Attorney General Sonia, so there's no excuse as to why they do not get followed. We will be doing better at telling you guys when mandatory events are. I know that you guys have busy lives and you have busy schedules. There's a lot of seniors in this room. There's a lot of people doing other things outside of SGA in this room. So it's not respectful when we throw something at you guys the week of and say, oh, it's mandatory, and then you're penalized for it. So we'll be doing better as an administration on that. But meet us where we're at and make sure that you are signing up for these meetings. It's time slots from 10 a.m. to 3:45. If the time does not work for you, it is your job to email me, Attorney General Sonia, and Advisor Carolyn with a time and a day that does work for you. If you do not do this and you miss the meeting, there will be no excuses. Again, PDR issued at the discretion of the Attorney General. Okay. Any questions? I know that was a lot. Okay. Senator Williams, Jay Williams. Do I have the mic? Okay, before you ask your question, the deadline to sign up for your time slot will be Wednesday, December 3rd. We will be checking for that. I will send the list of names of people who have not signed up to Attorney General Sonia that day at 5 o'clock. If you have not signed up by December 3rd, 5 o'clock, then you will be issued the PDR.
My question is, so these sign-up sheets, they're all through the group name?
Oh, I just sent out an email. The sign up genius is in the email. I will, after GA or during GA, I will send it out through GroupMe. And then to be kind, Monday, I'll schedule a reminder email. So you guys can all be reminded. Okay. Senator Farrell.
I know that it was you and Advisor Harris, touched upon sorry, touched upon, timesheets and stuff. What would happen in the event, if someone forgets to do it, like for, kind of gonna give like a personal anecdote. Sometimes I do forget, I do mark it down with a pen, but I know like it's preferred to do it on the actual, punch, um, like the actual punch machine, so so in the event if someone were to forget, is that still an acceptable thing, or should you let like an e-board or Advisor Carolyn know?
I would like to say when I get up here on my mouthpiece and I'm talking about and I'm generalizing everything and I'm saying that like things aren't being done, that does not include the small instances where people forget. That does not include the small instances where you have an exam or a class and you can't make a meeting. It includes the blatant choice to not adhere to certain rules. That's my first thing. Second thing, if you make a mistake and like you forget to punch in, you can mark it like you do and let Janiyah know. Like as long as there's a line of communication, I'm flipping through a small binder and everything's empty. That's not everybody forgetting. That's just not doing it. Freshman council rep.
I just wanted to make sure, just so that there's no miscommunication, the meetings are for everybody, including freshman council and transfer council as well, or is it, non-biased?
No, however, you can, because you're president, and then your AD and your director,
Okay,
of freshman council, but not freshman council. Your freshman council is not, it's not even like, we're not even running that, Asia. Here.
okay,
All right.
thank you.
He's a cutie, he can say like. That's not. Okay. Greek council rep. Oh, for sure. Thank you.
Okay, I have two questions, but it might be one. So for representatives in general, do we have to be in attendance?
Yes, representatives, your requirements within the Constitution are different from directors and assistant directors and senators. However, like, we're having problems with people showing up to GA and pre-meeting too, so reps will be involved in those as well.
Okay, thank you. And then my second question is, what is the location for the meetings?
We'll be using the SGA conference room.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, on a lighter note, the USM, which is the University System of Maryland, they are having a campaign, Maryland's Future is My Future. It's a social media campaign. It's a great way to get your face out there. They're requesting that members of SGA, if they feel comfortable, submit 30-second videos just explaining what motivates you to get your college degree. I've talked to a lot of you guys in this room, and I know you guys all have very interesting motivators, and I would love to see our faces a part of this campaign. So if you are interested and comfortable being on camera, there's a couple of you. We should do it for sure. I'm comfortable being on camera. Please private message me on GroupMe. And then I'll give you further details on to where to submit your videos and things of that nature. Okay. 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 Well, without further ado, can I get a drum roll, please? Remember me. Okay. This member of the week is fairly new to SGA, just like everybody else in the room. They have truly they work very closely with me. They are able to understand the concepts or the ideas that I have for SGA and to put it into fruition. And I think that's a beautiful trait to have. They've also worked with a numerous amount of people within the SGA 105th administration. They're always open to do new creative ideas, always open to workshop ideas with you as well. So without further ado, the member of the week this week is Director Bryant. Any questions? Okay, thank you guys so much. Remember to respond and sign up in that Sign Up Genius by December 3rd. There will be reminder emails. And if you have any questions, I will be in the office after GA so you can find me if you didn't feel comfortable saying them up here. Okay, with that, I yield.
Treasurer Allen.
Happy Cyber Tuesday, everybody. First, I'm gonna start by saying, if you guys do email me, you need to contact me, have any type of communication with me, I'm just gonna say, send everything to the SGA Trust email. I know a lot of y'all like to use my personal, there's nothing wrong with doing it, but just for record keeping, so I can keep everything in one place, if you have any SGA related inquiries, just send it to the SGA Trust email, so I'm not digging, trying to forward emails to the proper place. Make sure everything goes there so I can respond as promptly as I can. Second thing, just to piggyback off of what Advisor Carolyn said, we do have a lot of items in the storage room, paint, decorative things. It's really a lot. But if you are having an event, I would recommend going through there first just to see if there's anything that you need and you can use for your event. If we don't have it, of course, go ahead and submit the IES. It's completely fine. But just make sure we're being cognizant of what it is we're asking for and making sure we don't already have it before we purchase it again. Because then we just have a lot and it never gets touched because we just keep buying. Also, on the topic of IES forms, please make sure that everything is at least 2 weeks out. I know that we have Amazon Prime now, business, we have rush services, but still following what it is that you're supposed to do. When you're planning an event, it is supposed to be 2 weeks out. So I fear moving forward, if it's less than that, I'm just not gonna approve it. Simply because it doesn't give special events and it also doesn't give me enough time to make sure that everything is in order. So again, really emphasizing the fact that things are supposed to be 2 weeks out. That's how things have been said since the beginning of the semester. That's how it's going to proceed moving into next semester. Make sure that everything is 2 weeks out so everybody has enough time to do what it is they need to do. Lastly, when you're doing your IES, I think I touched on this at retreat. Obviously, everybody was not at retreat. The stuff at the top that you need to fill out is your name, any partners or organizations that you're collaborating with, what branch you're in, and I think that's it. So when it comes to the budget line and all of that stuff, don't worry about it. When it comes to the amount approved, don't worry about it. That's all stuff that I'm gonna fill out. You guys just need to make sure you're doing that, making sure that your Amazon or Target registry is accessible and I can see it. If it's not, it's gonna delay the process, then I have to ask you and go back and forth, and we could really just skip all that. Also, make sure that when you edit everything on the side where it says like prizes, giveaway items, catering, make sure that it's accurate to what the item actually is. If not, it just creates additional discrepancies, and again, it makes a lot of back and forth that we could really avoid. So if you have any additional questions, if you need further advice, any guidance on how to fill out IES, I am here for that. I will go ahead and email you if that's what you need, but just don't do things incorrectly or in an untimely manner, because then that just drags out the process and makes it longer. And I don't want to do that. Y'all shouldn't have to do that either. Okay, questions? No, lovely. With that, I yield.
Attorney General Sonia.
Happy Tiger Tuesday, everyone. So first things first, Clifton Strengths Assessment. So even if you have been issued a PDR for not submitting it to Chief of Staff Hurley, please do get it to her at your earliest convenience, so you will not receive another PDR. As for next week, we're just gonna ask for a minimum of 5 hours from everyone, including senators, justices, exec, everyone, just a minimum of 5 hours. If you cannot meet that minimum, please do meet with me. Like President Ali said, all members please use the time card system and the physical paper as well. After GA, please do take the time to read the email that was just sent. The deadline for the Sign Up Genius link is Wednesday, December 3rd. Next, as we move toward the end of the semester, I want to remind everyone that one of your requirements as an SGA member is to complete a minimum of 5 service hours per semester, 5 community service hours per semester. This is in our governing documents. So complete those, and Director Matthews will touch more on that. If you do not complete these hours by the end of the semester, the last day of work, December 8th, you will be terminated. So yeah, termination is on the table, so please do reach out and do your hours. Director Matthews will talk more about opportunities available to do so. And then finally, the things I've been echoing for weeks: make sure your weekly report is submitted every Friday by 5 p.m., detailed and accurate in the correct format, complete your minimum office hours,
absence request will not be taken on the same day, so please do not email me saying so-and-so, because it will just be an absence, an unexcused absence. Communications, please do report emergencies ASAP, through Basecamp, the absence form is there. And yeah, I think that I got everything. With that, I yield. Any questions? With that, I yield.
Chief of Staff Hurley.
Happy Tiger season. Okay, as you all know, I've been saying it for weeks. Friendsgiving is on Thursday, November 20th. It's Thursday from 6 to 8. It will be in Ballroom D, so directly down there. If you have not requested membership for SJA on Involved TU, please request it so that you can be added to the roster like ASAP. So that you can get logged in, yeah. Okay. If you don't know how to do that, just reach out to me, I can help. It's very simple. And then Director Matthews will reiterate this, but you can't have your hours submitted on Involved TU unless you're a member on Involved TU. So make sure that y'all get that in like ASAP. And then winter retreat dates are tentatively the 16th through the 18th of January. So keep that in mind. I'll be sending out a poll to see if those dates work for everyone, but just be on the lookout for that. Any questions? That I know.
Department of Academic Affairs. Department of Communications.
Happy Tiger Tuesday. Happy Tiger Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Okay. I have a couple of announcements. Well, number one, for communications, our new goal is to utilize short form media, led by AD Lane. So we're gonna do a lot more like TikToks, a lot more recaps and engaging content, just so everybody that is outside of SGA can, know what we have going on. I also wanted to talk about how we also have discussed with President Ali to increase public participation. So we're reworking our survey that we had launched a few weeks ago. We still have to meet with Advisor Carolyn to go over some revisions in that regard. But in the meantime, we did launch SGA Declassified. It's a campaign of educational videos that document the structure of the 105th administration, as well as the recaps and events that I talked about. I wanted to shout out Government Operations Chair Farrell, because during the walk, he had suggested that we sit down with graphics and go over a detailed General Assembly meeting agenda breakdown. So I'll be touching base with senators in the coming weeks, well, actually, no, because we're about to go on break. But next semester, that is something that I definitely want to tackle. And that would just be a detailed breakdown of first and second readings of Senate bills and resolutions. And then, there's also, one of our responsibilities in communications is supposed to be looking over emails, but we've been pretty overwhelmed trying to navigate everything else. There has been an influx of emails with missed media engagements and other opportunities that I think we could benefit from. So we are gonna work this week to reorganize everything, sort through relevant and timely content. So start of next semester, we can really lock in with that. And then also, the last thing I wanted to touch base on is somebody emailed me. I can't remember who. It was me, AD Lane, and Director of Media Relations Dalton, about like posting surveys on Instagram. So if you guys could see us after GA, that would be greatly appreciated. And with that, I yield.
Department of Community Outreach.
Hey everyone, happy Tiger Tuesday. Okay, so for everyone that attended the awareness walk, you were given 1 hour community service, which also counts for the 1 hour that you need out of the 5 that has to be from an SGA event. So if you go on the spreadsheet, you'll see your name and you'll see that the 1 hour was added. Everybody should be on there except for freshman council, pretty sure. Also, I'll be collabing with Civic Engagement December 5th, 4 to 5:30 and UU 222. It's called Lincoln Lead, Building Bridges Through Outreach, where we'll be teaching student orgs how to do meaningful community outreach and how to work with Candace partners. Yeah, come and support, and there'll be food, Italian. And then also, I'll be sending out an email soon to the people that have either haven't done any community service or have done community service, but you haven't fulfilled that 1 hour that has to be from an SGA event. If you have any type of community service, I know that some of you guys are in different organizations outside of SGA. So if you've done community service for that, or if you just do community service for the fun of it, please send it to me. Send me a picture, what you did and the times that you were there, and I'll put it in a spreadsheet. And then also, like Attorney General Sonia said, failure to complete all 5 will result in termination. So whatever you don't have done by December 8th, whatever you don't have done by December 8th, then I'll just put you on the list of people who don't have it done. Also, everyone, like Chief of Staff Hurley said, everyone needs to join Involved at TU. I can't put any hours in the Involved at TU unless you join. All those hours that you put in, that you sent to me, that I put in the spreadsheet. Also, if I missed anything on the spreadsheet or just missed anything on like putting it in, let me know, I'll fix it. But like she said, if you're not on Involved at TU by December 8th, you're not gonna see any hours there. And then also, I know a lot of people have been asking me for community service to do your 5 hours. Like I said last year, this Friday, November 21st, there's Food Recovery Network. Join the GroupMe link that I sent in the community service group chat. Once you join their GroupMe, there'll be a sign up genius. You can sign up there. And then when you do it, just send me a picture of you there. Send me the time that you were there. That's it. If you have any more questions, you can ask Senator Farrell. He's Vice President of Food Recovery Network. And then after that, you can just look for any more community service opportunities. Is there any questions?
Government Operations Chair Farrell.
It's not a question, can I just add to it? Yeah, so with food recovery, you can get up to 2 to 2.5 hours. So like out of the 5 required, you already have half of them just through Friday. Food recovery is important because as people who live in this area, it's important that we give back to the people in need. The food that we recover from the dining halls goes towards shelters in Baltimore, specifically Adopt a Block and Sarasota. So yeah, that's all I wanted to add.
Assistant Director Lane.
Quick question for that. Will we get hours counted if we were to bring in a certain amount of food, or is it strictly like working?
It's just like the time you're there. Or like, yeah, it's just the time you're there and the times you pick up. Yeah.
Okay, with that, I yield. Thank you.
Department of Diversity and Inclusion.
Happy Cyber Tuesday, everyone. Yesterday at 3 o'clock, I was able to sit in on the campus-wide immersion committee meeting, and they were just letting us know their goals, which is pretty much to achieve more civic engagement, more diversity and inclusion on campus, and they wish to make themselves more known within SGA so that we can also have a part in their project. Hopefully, I sent it to President Ali, and hopefully we can get them to have like a guest speaking maybe next semester so that we can all have our own opinions on the matter. And with that, I yield.
Department of Health and Wellness. Department of Campus Relations. Department of New Student Development. Department of Special Projects.
Good evening, no report.
Department of Student Organizations.
No report.
Department of Student Services and Affairs.
street team is on Friday. The partners will be sent out in the group meeting tomorrow. And if you haven't signed up and you want to participate, then please do that. You still have time. And I promise y'all, it's not as bad as you think. So if you want to participate, please sign up. We need everybody to participate. Any questions? With that, I yield.
Department of Sustainability.
Happy Target Tuesday, everyone. So I talked about this like in the beginning of the semester, but the Office of Sustainability is working on a climate day plan action, and I'm a part of it. And it's really about like making Towson more like eco-friendly. So if you want to be a part of it, just let me know to hear more voices for the student body. Any questions? Okay, with that I yield.
Fraternity and sorority life representative.
Happy Father's Tuesday, everyone.
I mean, back to.
I have a very short report. Lambda Theta Alpha Latin Sorority Incorporated just welcomed in 5 new members this past week. Alpha Sigma Rho Sorority Incorporated will also have a new member presentation this Friday at 7 p.m. in Union Theater. And lastly, the Greek Ambassador team is having their last meeting this week, so I'll have more of a report next Tuesday. And with that, I yield.
Military Veterans Representative.
Hi, everyone. No report.
Sports Club Council Representative.
Okay, hello. We have men's lacrosse and women's basketball both having their home games, and then we have badminton having their home event. And then for away, we have women's volleyball. They have a competition at UMD. Palm Squad is fundraising at a Ravens game. We have men's volleyball having a competition at UMD in Loyola, and then men's ice hockey is having their away event.
Student Disability Representative.
Good evening, guys. No report.
University Residence Government Representative.
Happy Tiger Tuesday. Okay, I'm gonna rush through this because I'm being yelled at. So first, a laundry feedback form that I personally made, will be, it's in the works. It will be sent out probably by the end of the semester. It's to collect information on reliability of the Speed Clean app and laundry machines. Yeah, it's part of a bigger thing. It'll come later. Our puppy cafe is no longer a puppy cafe. I know it broke my heart too. It is now a final survival cafe. Arts and crafts, stuff a bear / tiger, snacks and drinks, you know, cool stuff. You still get free final supplies. No, because like our advisor wanted like us to work with like a foundation, they told us no, so. Yeah, sure. And lastly, our Friendsgiving event, which is actually happening right now. It's 6 to 8. Yes, today in ballrooms, D&E, new student family programs, National Residence Hall Honorary, and the Hub are there. And I need to be there. So if there aren't any questions, I'll take my, oh no, there's a question.
So I have a question. On behalf of the executive board, what's the menu for the Friendsgiving?
Great. So there's turkey, there's mashed potatoes, there's macaroni and cheese, there's seasonal, bless you, there's seasonal, roasted vegetables, apple pie, blueberry pie, pumpkin pie, water, lemonade. We were supposed to buy snacks. I have no idea if they did that.
We'll be in attendance.
Okay, cool. You'll see me stressed out in the corner, but it's okay. Any other questions? Okay, with that, I yield.
Transfer Council Representative.
Hello, no report.
Freshman Council Representative.
Hello, everyone. Happy Tiger Tuesday. Tomorrow, Freshman Council will be having our tabling event from 2 to 4. It's going to be in the Union. It's going to be on the second floor. We're going to have a guess the jar, or we're just going to have people guess how much is in the jar and win the prize. But yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Happy Tiger Tuesday, everybody. Okay, so first order of business, as always, please, 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 if you're not going to use your agendas, recycle them in the back. And this week, if you are so inclined, please bring your nameplates to the new boxes that we have in the back. Yes, oh, wow, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Janaya. I have been taking that cardboard box down there for weeks, and we have these new fresh plastic boxes that are a dream to carry. Outside of that, I want to say thank you to everyone that served on the budget committee. I know that was a long, grueling process, a lot of late hours. I know you guys were there for budget deliberations till like 8 p.m. So everyone give them a round of applause, please. So at the beginning of the spring semester, we'll be reaching out again for anyone that'll be interested in the budget committee. Just because we know that not everyone will be able to return and participate, there will be some turnover. So if you are interested in that, we'll be reaching out at the beginning of the spring semester so we can have the budget committee all finalized. Outside of that, I have been in contact with the deans of some of the colleges to try and get us a more formalized framework for the way that our college representation works in terms of each senator's college. And I will be reaching out with you guys with more about that. Other than that, are there any questions? All right, with that, I yield. Are there any opinions of the court?
Happy Tiger Tuesday. Okay, so I just want to announce the upcoming appeals we have. So we have an appeal with Fusion Dance Team, the 20th from 3:30 to 4:30 p.m. And then we also have another appeal with Association of Latinos Professionals for America. That is on December 1st from 3:30 to 4:30. Any questions? Okay, with that, I yield.
Senators, we will now be moving into a quorum call, so please click yes on your clipboards to indicate you are here. With 12 senators on the roster and 11 senators present, we have met quorum. Are there any motions on the floor, Vice President Brinton?
Sorry, guys, one more time. I recommend we amend the agenda to remove Senate Resolution number 26 and add Confirmation Resolution 6. Senator Ryan.
I motion to amend the agenda to remove Senate Resolution number 26 and add confirmation resolution number 6.
Is there a second? Thank you, Senator Beliacco. Vote of 10-0, the motion has passed. Confirmation resolution number 6 has been added. Are there any motions on the floor? Senator,
Motion to review confirmation resolution number 6.
is there a second? Senator Beliacco. Ten zero zero, the motion to review confirmation resolution number 6 has passed. Now I'll ask Haley Trejo, Katie Atal, Canty, and Arnold Kijambu to come to the front, please. Yeah, if you could please state your case as to why you would like to join SGA.
What's the question? On the mic. Hi, guys. My name is Haley Trejo.
Hi guys, my name is Haley Trejo. I am here representing the College of Business and Economics. My major is International Studies with a minor in Spanish, and I'm here to just be a part of the team. I think that SGA has a lot of things to provide our students, as many communities as we have on campus. As a sophomore, I obviously haven't had the chance to really delve deep into what I can do on campus. But that's why, of course, I applied to the position. I'm very excited to bring initiatives as much as connecting the bridges between the Hispanic community and as well to the business and economic schools. As someone who is not majoring in economics or business, I recognize the importance of it on campus, and that's why I'm here to represent that part of our team.
Hello, hello everyone. My name is Kadia Atu. I'm a third year political science major. I decided to run for senator for the College of Education because I have a passion for education, like many of us do in this room. I value my education and knowledge is power. I want to make sure I foster an environment to help the future educators to make them have a great college experience so that when they go out in the real world and make a huge difference. Although I'm not an education major, I do know a lot about policy making, and I want to like make that into a thing for the College of Education. And yeah.
How you guys doing? My name is Arnold Kijambu. I'm a first year freshman here at Towson. I'm representing the College of Business. What I look forward to is just really helping students like have a resource, someone to really talk to, because I know a lot of students like they really struggle with that, and they struggle with coming, especially because we're in college. They really struggle with having someone to talk to. So, and just want to be a resource and a support system. So, yeah.
Well, thank you. Are there any questions, President Allen?
This is a question. This is a question for everybody. Doesn't matter which order you answer it in. Without limitations applied, if there were no limitations applied, what is one thing that you would change about Towson University's campus?
You said what was one limitation that could you repeat the question, please? I'm sorry.
So I can rephrase it because I think. What's one way you would change Towson University's campus if money wasn't a factor, policies weren't a factor, and systems in place weren't a factor?
Well, as it pertains to the College of Education, I came up with a couple of initiatives, but the main concern is transportation access. I went to the College of Education and I took a survey of a bunch of students and asked them what they wanted to do, what policies they wanted to see in changes. And they said that, so for their last 2 years of college, they have an internship where they go to like actual elementary schools or schools to like sit and get their teaching hours. But a lot of students don't have like a ride to necessarily get there. So if we didn't have a budget, I would honestly just give them all like a stipend. So then that way they're not cutting through their like paychecks that they work hard for. And we're all like kind of broke as college students. So I would give them like a stipend. So then that way they could like, pay for a way to get to school. Cause the
them becoming a teacher shouldn't be stopped by the fact that they simply just can't get a ride to the school and stuff like that. But yeah, hope that answered your question.
As a representative of the College of Business and Economics, without any limitations, I would like to broaden our courses. I feel like this is very imperative, especially when registering for courses. I feel like we don't have much of a selection as much as we would like to. We obviously know that honor students and other departments or colleges students have more of an opportunity to register for these courses, but without like a budget or anything like that, we can open a lot of doors for other courses, or if anyone has any ideas for any courses that could start, then I think that we should definitely invest in those.
One difference I'll bring to Towson University would be, I think, something like cooking classes, because I find a lot of students that live off campus and they always tend to ask, hey, you got a swipe? Like, hey, you got a swipe, you got this. So I'd really want to bring cooking classes. So, you could really teach students how to cook for themselves, and especially if they live off campus or if they live in an apartment of some sort. So, yeah.
I recommend a member of Senate yield their time to Assistant Director Senator Ed Logan.
I use my time to direct, Assistant Director Lane.
This question is for, Mr. Kunjambu. So for your cooking classes, can you kind of tell me how that would bring about community within Towson, and do you think that should be a core requirement or an elective?
I think that should be like an elective of some sort, but I would find it useful to students as well. So that could pretty much teach them how to you could really do something yourself for real, if that makes sense. So yeah. And I feel like a lot of students will really engage with that. So yeah.
Are there any other questions? It's seeing none here. I'll ask you three to step out while we deliberate. Anybody like to speak on their behalf? Government Operations Chair Pearl.
So specifically, I'd like to speak on the behalf of Haley and Ariatu. I just from hearing them speak, I really hear the passion that they have. And even with all three of the candidates, they all talk about some form of accessibility. Specifically with Kariatu, it's kind of funny because making it easier for education majors to be to have access to transportation. I know someone personally who's going through the education program, and that is something that they have complained about using their own supplies, and teaching is already a selfless job within itself. So the university should provide some sort of ease to it. And the fact that she did bring that up shows that she did actually go out and talk to education majors, even though that's not even what she studied. And I think that's a very important trait. Similarly with Haley, I had the opportunity to sit in on her interview, and Vice President Breton can kind of speak on this. When she handed in her resume and gave really honest and really candid answers, I personally liked that. And as government operations chair, one of my goals was to have people who aren't afraid to speak their minds and be an independent voice. And she really exemplified that when we did speak with her. With Arnold, additionally, he did talk about access with the cooking classes. Cooking is something that is not a lot of people know how to do. It is a privilege to know how to do it and to have ingredients, et cetera, et cetera. So just already having that And just thinking about that is why all three of them are good candidates, and I implore the Senate to confirm them. Yeah.
Appropriations Chair Miller.
I would like to speak on behalf of Kayatu. I was part of her interview process, and the sheet of paper that she had with her, she came prepared with 4 initiatives already before she was even a part of the Senate of what she wanted to improve for education majors on campus. She has already been out there. She has engaged with, her soon-to-be, constituents more than some of us may have with our own. And she has her finger on the pulse of what education majors need. She has a huge passion for education reform and education policy. So being able to work directly with the people that she hopes to work with in her career, that just seems like exactly what we need in the Senate.
Senator Rines.
So, speaking broadly, I think all three, people were so great. Everybody really came on game on time. This was amazing. And also, patience, they sat through a pretty long, we just started the agenda and they still came knowing what they had to say. So that's commendable because I don't even think I could do that. Specifically, I'd like to speak on behalf of Arnold. He is, oops, sorry. He is, personally, I met him because he attended the very first Fireside Chat, which was a initiative of the Catalyst. And while he came, he asked questions, he talked to just about anybody he could, and expressed a really genuine interest in SGA. I didn't have to beg him. I didn't have to walk him down. He applied himself. He went and asked me every single step of the way, what can I do? How can I be involved? When can I join? All of those things. And that's just so important. Although I feel like he might have thrown a little shade at me, his ideas are really good. He has a great personality. And he brings a lot to the table. I really think that you guys should confirm all of them with him. Thank you.
Seeing the general consensus, are there any motions on the floor? Appropriations Chair Miller.
I'd like to call to question confirmation resolution number 6.
Is there a second?
I said,
Thank you, Senator Kay Williams. Vote of 10-0-0, the motion is passed, and we now move into a vote on confirmation resolution number 6. With a vote of 10-0-0, confirmation resolution number 6 has passed. Somebody please let them in and hold your applause until they enter.
okay, I'm gonna ask you guys to raise your right hands, repeat after me. Okay, I do solemnly affirm that I will faithfully serve the students of Taos University, execute all of the duties and responsibilities of this position, and strive to achieve the high level of expectation that accompanies the position within the Student Government Association of Taos University. I'll protect, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution, all other governing documents, of the Student Government Association of Towson University to the best of my ability. Congratulations.
All right, are there any motions on the floor? Vice President.
In the interest of time, I recommend that we table for next week's General Assembly Senate Resolutions 28, 29, Senate Bill 9, Senate Bill 10, Senate Bill 11, and Senate Bill 12.
Are there any motions on the floor? Appropriations Chair Miller.
I motion to table Senate Bill 10 and Senate Bill 11 at the next General Assembly.
Is there a second?
I second.
Thank you, Senator Kay Williams. Vote of 10-0, the motion is passed.
And just a point of clarification, we're doing this because the finance bill and the Tiger Pride Day bill are on the floor, and those are things that have to be done today that we cannot table for next General Assembly. That is why I'm saying we table the rest of the legislation so that we can get through those today.
Government Operations Chair Burrow.
I'll link on like this. I motion to extend GA by 10 minutes.
Is there a second?
A second.
Thank you, Senator Williams. With a vote of 9-1-0, the motion is passed. The General Assembly has been extended by 10 minutes. Are there any Senator Ryan's?
President Kelly, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Is Senate resolution number 30 supposed to be in the packet? Oh, so we're not gonna have documents.
Yeah, he's just gonna put it on the screen.
That was all, thank you.
Appropriations Chair Miller.
Motion to review Senate Resolution number 28.
Is there a second? A second. Thank you, Senator Kay Williams. A vote of 10-0, the motion is passed. I will ask Government Operations Chair Farrell to please comment on your bill.
Press like that.
We're trying to go through this as fast as possible. So, yeah, I'm gonna go through this as fast as possible. So, as you see in the resolution, the committee has voted to make some amendments. It was kind of a general consensus, through, the concerns that was raised last year and the concerns raised by the committee that there needed to be a donation pool, including, and also clarifying language. Yeah, clarifying language because, at first I didn't want to do a donation pool because of kind of external factors, but I realized that there still is a need. And just as President Ali did point out, at the time I didn't see how not having a donation pool didn't created some type of a gap. But after talking about it with other people and also again taking that kind of criticism, I do agree that there is a need for it. And also with this resolution, I'd like to motion to amend Resolution 28 to strike student outreach and support in the address line.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Appropriations Chair. With a vote of 9-0, the motion is passed and the Office of Student Outreach and Support has been struck.
Okay, so the main reason for this is because student outreach and support was mainly used to gather data specifically on how the university does help students deal with food insecurities. But again, after further review, it doesn't really need to be addressed to them. However, if whoever is reviewing this and when I do follow up on this resolution, in my meetings with administrators, if they feel as though student outreach and support needs to be involved, then that should be something, then that's up to their discretion. Something else I'd like to add, last thing is with an amendment, with the emergency grant, I know I mentioned it a lot in the first presentation of this bill. There is kind of a stipulation with the emergency grant where it's only really given to students after they've already taken out loans, already asked friends and family, and already did all other personal expenses. And so this grant is only given to them after they've already looked through all of those avenues. And due to the kind of unforeseen circumstances that do come up, students shouldn't have to take out loans just to not deal with food insecurity. So, yeah.
Thank you. Are there any questions, comments, or concerns? I recommend members that yield their time to the freshman council. Appropriations Chair Miller.
I yield my time to the freshman council representative.
Okay, yes, I want just to say as a commuter, I wholeheartedly agree with this resolution because it's a big deal to people who only get like 100 block plans and are like trying to ration until the next semester. There are times where I've had to not eat some days, or that I have to like only eat one meal and then I'm hungry like the later day, and there are people who have like leftover tiger moves that are just leaving it to waste. So I wholeheartedly agree, and I believe we absolutely need this resolution. Thank you.
Thank you. President Ali.
I implore that when. Let me know. I can speak from personal experience. I haven't had a meal plan since sophomore year. Last year, I definitely didn't cook as much as I do this year. I just started again cooking here and there, like things. But I often refer to my friends who do have meal plans to like, if push comes to shove, like to give me their tiger swipes. But last year, I didn't refer to that as much. Definitely not in the beginning of the year. And like looking back at like the finances I had last year, there was no reason why I was like roasting like $75 in a week just to eat at the union. And I had the privilege to have that money. A lot of students, which I think is becoming more apparent as we go into our current political climate, we're seeing the cracks in the facades and like our financial stability as college students. It's very dependent on check by check. It's very dependent on if certain departments and certain governmental forces are at play. And when those things are being, y'all do this, when they're the very fabric of what keeps a check-to-check college student afloat is being threatened, I think it's our job to see those issues and to combat those issues in any way that we can. It's very admirable for this legislation to even have hit the floor first and to even take the time to think about the students who do need the meal plans, but also to hear constructive criticism and go back and say like, yeah, this might create a gap between students if I can just give them to my friend and nobody else. So I'm very thankful that you added, your donation clause and updated it in that sense. I guess my question or my note would be, what is your plan to follow up? And I say that to say that when you do something that is impactful, and sometimes when you do work that hasn't been seen before, you will hear many no's before you hear yes. And sitting in this from the last reading last week, there was a lot of confusion in the room that you had to kind of dissuade throughout this following week for you to be able to tell before today. So how do you plan to keep that drive behind this impactful work so Towson University can be impacted by what you presented on the floor today?
Yeah, first of all, if this resolution were to pass, I would immediately follow up with the Vice President of Student Affairs. And also I would connect with other admin as well. I'd like to emphasize, when I did present this resolution, most admin, they agreed that this was a very good initiative. And just for this to kind of work out the kinks, and I will follow up with auxiliary services. I will follow up with, like I said, Vice President of Student Affairs, and hopefully, I'll follow up with RMARC colleague hospitality as well, because this is something that I really do care about. As a Vice President of Food Recovery, I see how much food does get wasted. There are certain types of food that we just can't give. Dairy products, like mainly dairy products, some meats like that go bad quickly. The sentiment of food waste on this campus is very expansive. And so this is just a way for RMARC not to waste money in dining services in general, not to waste money throwing out food and food that can't be given to students. Partially it is a sustainability thing as well, where when food does get wasted, a lot of the times that does go to things like burning, what's it called? Like where you like have to like set fire to like trash and stuff, and it gets dumped into waste lands, and often those results do end up in poor communities, especially. And so it's just an overall good thing for all parties involved, the students, the faculty, admin, and RMARC within themselves.
Appropriations Chair Miller.
I also would like to stress the importance and the support of dining dollars being included in this as well. As someone with dietary restrictions who has a meal plan, the Tiger meals are not always inclusive of what I am able to eat on campus. And so I went through my dining dollars a lot quicker than I went through my Tiger meals because the dining dollars allow for more dietary options. So the fact that there's a way to essentially trade Tiger meals for dining dollars or just have this system in place that students can accommodate their own needs as well. Is a really great system that I am very much in favor of. With that being said, I also would like to call to question resolution number 28.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Senator Kate Williams. The vote of 9-0, the motion is passed, and we will now move into a vote on resolution number 28. With a vote of 10-0, resolution number 28 is passed. Thank you, Government Operations Chair. Are there any motions on the floor? Senator Rhines?
With respect to the bill writer, I would like to recommend that Appropriation Chair Miller tables Senate Bill number 12 to the agenda next week. 12? Say again? I wanted to recommend it because it's her bill, but okay. I motion to table Senate Bill number 12 to VA next week.
Is there a second? Thank you. With a vote of 7-0, the motion is passed and Senate Bill number 12 has been tabled. Are there any motions on the floor? Vice President Britton.
Again, in the interest of time, we do have to get through Senate Resolution number 30 and Finance Bill number 1. Those are essential bills, and as it is approaching 7 o'clock, I do again recommend that we 7:10, we still have to get through two pieces of legislation, and that's in 10 minutes. Yeah. I do recommend we table Senate Resolution number 29 and Senate Bill number 9. We haven't tabled them. Senator Rhines.
I recommend that we table Senate Resolution number 29. Oh, sorry, I motion to table Senate Resolution number 29 and Senate Bill number 9.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you.
Until next week.
The vote of 7-3, the motion is passed and resolution number 29 and Senate Bill number 9 have been tabled. Are there any motions on the floor? Government Operations Chair Pearl.
Motion to inquire, resolution 30.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Senator Rhines. Vote of 10-0, the motion is passed. Now ask Senator Cone to please come present her bill. Oh, you wrote it? I'll go around, Coach Jericho.
Okay, so Senate Resolution 30 is the establishment of Tiger Pride Day. Talking about the critical issues that are important to students. Director Reyes did table to ask the student body what issues are the most important to them. And they have identified 5 key issues, which is campus safety, healthcare access, college affordability, protections for undocumented students, and climate change. If you scroll up, sorry. So within the whereas clauses, it details why this is important to not only Towson students, but colleges as a whole. There's a lot of statistics on college affordability in terms of the gaps of access, the fears that many undocumented students and children of undocumented people face when attending college, why healthcare access is important to having a quality education, and why college students care about climate change for their future and for their future and why they aren't afforded a healthy planet. And so with all of the research detailed and Towson students giving their input on the issues that they deem most important, these are the things that we should be advocating for at Tiger Pride Day.
Thank you. Are there any technical, non-debatable?
No, I motion to suspend Senate rules to review Senate Resolution 30.
Is there a second?
What?
Senator Rhines?
A second. Today's first reading so that when we come back after break, it can be on second reading. It needs to go to committee. No? I second.
Can I cancel the motion? Sorry.
You can retract your motion.
I would like to retract my motion to suspend Senate rules for Senate Resolution 30.
Are there any technical, non-debatable questions? All right, seeing none, here none. Thank you, Government Operations Director. Are there any motions on the floor? Appropriations, Chair Miller.
Motion to acquire Finance Bill 1.
Is there a second?
A second.
Thank you, Senator Kay Williams. The vote of 10-0, the motion is passed. And now ask Appropriations Chair Miller to please come present Finance Bill number 1.
Thank you, everybody. While I'm up here, I also would like to motion to amend Finance Bill number 1 to include Treasurer Allen.
Is there a second? Senator Rhines?
A second.
Thank you. Vote 10-0, the motion is passed and Treasurer Allen has been added to the bill.
Okay, everyone. So Finance Bill number 1 is to go over the allocated budgets for each organization that requested a budget for spring 2026. So listed in the Finance Bill are what Budget Committee decided to allocate. Are there any questions about what was allocated to each organization?
I recommend a member of the Senate yield their time to Director Fleury. Senator Antilogan.
I use my time to Director Fleury. So just to make it clear, so for example, those that say 0, they were like not approved, and then everybody else that has money, that's what they were given or what they requested?
That's what they were allocated. Any organizations with 0 would have been allocated 0 due to some issue with the process.
Are there any non-debatable questions? I recommend a member of the Senate yield their time to Chief Justice Olivia. Government Operations Chair Pro.
I yield my time to Chief Justice Olivia.
Okay. So the orgs, correct me if this is, so the orgs that went through the budget process, okay, yeah, the org that went through the appeal process, like, can I say like, I don't. Are all orgs that went through the appeal process accounted for? Are all orgs that went through the appeal process accounted for? Like. So the orgs that I have that we had discussed, so like, for example, NAACP, Chabad, those are a few organizations who should be included on this sheet. Any organization that has had an appeal after Friday, so that's when we have budget deliberations. So anybody who's had an appeal after that, they are not on this spreadsheet because that was outside of, they were approved for a budget outside of the period that budget deliberations occurred. So on the 14th, that's when the Senate, the Budget Committee had their vote. So any organization who's not on here, they were either approved outside of when we did budget deliberations, or I didn't receive any information about them. Is there a specific org that's missing? They were approved and their information was voted on. It's just not on here. So I believe we did do live. Did you live? We'll double check on them. Okay.
Vice President Brenton.
I also would like to clarify that amendments can be made to this during the Appropriations Committee meeting. So if there were any organizations that were missed, they will be on there for the next reading of this legislation.
Yeah, that's all I had.
Any other non-debatable questions? Government Operations Chair Burrow.
Would it be appropriate for someone to, would it be appropriate for someone to direct orgs or like talk to organizational leaders about alternative funding, just like informing them more, or would that not be appropriate?
At the time, I would say no, and that's just because this information has not, oh, is
Point of
that,
order, that was a debatable question.
should I clarify, should I free?
His
Okay.
question was.
Fair enough. Is it appropriate for someone to talk?
You have to rephrase.
Is it okay? No. Is it okay if someone were to message, inform orgs about alternative funding and direct them after this budget process is?
Yeah, that's a debatable question, I'm sorry.
Never mind. Can a member direct orgs to alternative funding after this budget process is done? There you go.
Is this answerable?
Answer.
Okay, after the process is done, I would say that directing organizations to alternative funding, while it's not necessarily appropriate, if you do want to bring it up after, let me find it. I wouldn't specifically discuss alternative funding with any of these specific organizations, just because they still have to receive information discussing their allocation, what it is they actually have received. That hasn't gone out. Obviously, the Senate hasn't finalized this information. It hasn't been voted on. So I wouldn't bring up alternative funding just yet, also because alternative funding doesn't fit all of the needs of every organization. So I would just wait on that. I do think we can bring up alternative funding at a later time. I just wouldn't do it anytime soon until organizations have the necessary information they need for next semester.
And like Treasurer Allen said, once this finance bill is voted on, we will have a final amount that each organization will be allocated. And I do plan to work with Treasurer Allen to educate any organizations that may not have received full funding on where they can move forward with receiving additional.
Are there any technical, non-debatable questions? All right, seeing none, thank you. Are there any announcements? Vice President Britton.
Alrighty, everybody, good news, great announcement. I'm pretty sure everyone is gonna cheer at this one. So the reason that I had made sure that we had to do these things today, in the sense why we table these bills, other than the interest of time and making sure we get home before 8 o'clock, is because next week there will be no General Assembly. So make sure you guys go home, enjoy your families, and have a great break.
Any other announcements? All right, any motions on the floor? Senator Antelope.
Motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
I second.
Thank you, Senator Kay Williams. Vote of 10-0, General Assembly is adjourned.
But I still have to eat, right? You know what?
You can go ahead and sometimes like I still know that. No, no. I mean, Yeah. So I guess.